We have to be virologists every week. We have to be virologists every week. Can't install at sunrise. Can't install at sunrise. My grandfather is a firefighter. My grandfather is a firefighter. Can't meet at noon. Can't meet at noon. Sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you. Sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you. They didn't become writers every year. They didn't become writers every year. Thank you. Thank you. Were my parents monks? Were my parents monks? The detail of the painting was impressive. Every brushstroke was visible. The detail of the painting was impressive. Every brushstroke was visible. My daughter was a librarian. My daughter was a librarian. Our neighbor was an assistant lawyer. Our neighbor was an assistant lawyer. Your daughter was an anthropologist. Your daughter was an anthropologist. Does her stepdaughter write? Does her stepdaughter write? Did they lie at night? Did they lie at night? He will watch the match with his friends at home. He will watch the match with his friends at home. Doesn't he allow it every year? Doesn't he allow it every year? She couldn't cry every month. She couldn't cry every month. Sometimes it shouldn't. Sometimes it shouldn't. We are frequent homeowners. We are frequent homeowners. Almost everyone is here. Almost everyone is here. Does it suppress? Does it suppress? Previously associated. Previously associated. We used to go often. We used to go often. I'm going to the post office to mail a package. I'm going to the post office to mail a package. We will not analyze every year. We will not analyze every year. Didn't you always appreciate? Didn't you always appreciate? Should I dive right now? Should I dive right now? Your half-brother is the ranger. Your half-brother is the ranger. He couldn't bother every week. He couldn't bother every week. Be sure to turn off the lights before you leave. Be sure to turn off the lights before you leave. Doesn't she usually work as a waitress? Doesn't she usually work as a waitress? Our husband is a urologist. Our husband is a urologist. Should be replaced later. Should be replaced later. Was our uncle an inspector? Was our uncle an inspector? Can I lie down at sunrise? Can I lie down at sunrise? Have I now refused? Have I now refused? I rode my horse in the countryside. I rode my horse in the countryside. Our stepfather was a journalist. Our stepfather was a journalist. The view from the top is beautiful. The view from the top is beautiful. Did they count at 2 midnight before? Did they count at 2 midnight before? Coroner in 1 year? Coroner in 1 year? We do not add weekly. We do not add weekly. Would check later. Would check later. Is his son a contractor? Is his son a contractor? It could be the second man. It could be the second man. The train will arrive in 20 minutes. The train will arrive in 20 minutes. He couldn't fish at noon. He couldn't fish at noon. Your grandpa is the babysitter. Your grandpa is the babysitter. I'll be bossing my employees all day. I'll be bossing my employees all day. My son was a ballerina. My son was a ballerina. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. My wife is a glazier. My wife is a glazier. They are not watchmen at dawn. They are not watchmen at dawn. Could this be a potential solution? Could this be a potential solution? Good morning. How are you feeling today? Good morning. How are you feeling today? Did he not agree from time to time? Did he not agree from time to time? He loves taking pictures with his camera. He loves taking pictures with his camera. They won't come after midnight. They won't come after midnight. Were his grandchildren engineers? Were his grandchildren engineers? Are his brothers mechanics? Are his brothers mechanics? Don't I shoot every week? Don't I shoot every week? You are responsible. You are responsible. Can't he blame? Can't he blame? Don't you know at noon? Don't you know at noon? We will be getting ready for our presentation next month. We will be getting ready for our presentation next month. Did they lie at night? Did they lie at night? He will start his own business next year. He will start his own business next year. We couldn't listen a century ago. We couldn't listen a century ago. Do you move? Do you move? Didn't I get in at 5 a.m. before? Didn't I get in at 5 a.m. before? Didn't he specify then? Didn't he specify then? Should I put it then? Should I put it then? Later that morning the cameraman too. Later that morning the cameraman too. We celebrate our anniversary every year. We celebrate our anniversary every year. Do you always have to inspect? Do you always have to inspect? Can't it be cream? Can't it be cream? Was your daughter an orthopedist? Was your daughter an orthopedist? Can't connect? Can't connect? Is her half-sister an air traffic controller? Is her half-sister an air traffic controller? Should we postpone the meeting? Should we postpone the meeting? Can I imagine later? Can I imagine later? Your half-sister was an inspector. Your half-sister was an inspector. Does he want it now? Does he want it now? Shouldn't we be driving at dusk? Shouldn't we be driving at dusk? Shouldn't make a noise at noon. Shouldn't make a noise at noon. The office is often full of people. The office is often full of people. We walked all over the city to see famous places. We walked all over the city to see famous places. His colleague is a linguist. His colleague is a linguist. I don't like the color purple. I don't like the color purple. Promise? Promise? After 5 minutes they would grow. After 5 minutes they would grow. I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym every day. Discussions on the new education policy continued for several hours. Discussions on the new education policy continued for several hours. Don't I have to complete it every day? Don't I have to complete it every day? Is her husband a priest? Is her husband a priest? I'm going to the swimming pool. I'm going to the swimming pool. Can't we calculate? Can't we calculate? Can't we fail next year? Can't we fail next year? Can't I solve? Can't I solve? Can't they be carpenters after 1 week? Can't they be carpenters after 1 week? Shouldn't he be a banker before? Shouldn't he be a banker before? The company is looking for a new human resources manager. The company is looking for a new human resources manager. Will he give? Will he give? Was his colleague a pianist? Was his colleague a pianist? Would they monk every week? Would they monk every week? The castle was built in the middle of the 13th century. The castle was built in the middle of the 13th century. Your aunt is a pathologist. Your aunt is a pathologist. Can't it be renewed? Can't it be renewed? We shouldn't prepare for 2 weeks. We shouldn't prepare for 2 weeks. I should not return. I should not return. Aren't we dead? Aren't we dead? I did not become a homeowner at noon. I did not become a homeowner at noon. Was his neighbor a draper? Was his neighbor a draper? They eat, would dive earlier, would dive earlier. 4 minutes later would be fine. 4 minutes later would be fine. It's so surreal. It's so surreal. We could not publish. We could not publish. You nurse. You nurse. Announces every day. Announces every day. We tried later. We tried later. I wear glasses. I wear glasses. Wasn't I chosen? Wasn't I chosen? Will it continue? Will it continue? He will live in 2 weeks. He will live in 2 weeks. Were their cousins decorators? Were their cousins decorators? We will discuss the proposal at the meeting. We will discuss the proposal at the meeting. Can it be suppressed at night? Can it be suppressed at night? The house is beyond criticism. The house is beyond criticism. Can you race the car driver at sunrise? Can you race the car driver at sunrise? Shouldn't we be beekeepers in 3 days? Shouldn't we be beekeepers in 3 days? Shouldn't you deny it? Shouldn't you deny it? Is our stepsister a surrogate? Is our stepsister a surrogate? He washes. He washes. Can you become a psychologist every year? Can you become a psychologist every year? He would say. He would say. Was your father a manager? Was your father a manager? Isn't it cold every day? Isn't it cold every day? Can't we be a weekly clerk? Can't we be a weekly clerk? I have a back pain. I have a back pain. Can't rap after 1 day? Can't rap after 1 day? We used to connect from time to time. We used to connect from time to time. Can't I be a pharmacist every month? Can't I be a pharmacist every month? If it's not dangerous, I'll go out. If it's not dangerous, I'll go out. I'll give you a list of words to review for your next lesson. I'll give you a list of words to review for your next lesson. Will I fly every week? Will I fly every week? There is always a risk that the company you invest in will go bankrupt. There is always a risk that the company you invest in will go bankrupt. 3 evenings later I am a politician. 3 evenings later I am a politician. Would have been a virologist before. Would have been a virologist before. I will go home. I will go home. The leader of the group was late, so I took over. The leader of the group was late, so I took over. Can't it happen every year? Can't it happen every year? Your sister is a therapist. Your sister is a therapist. Can't we spend? Can't we spend? Did you go on the night? Did you go on the night? Can't they handle? Can't they handle? We can't settle in at sunset. We can't settle in at sunset. Couldn't they have an affair later in the morning? Couldn't they have an affair later in the morning? Am I not tempted a century later? Am I not tempted a century later? I need some sleep. I need some sleep. In order for the teacher to calculate your final grade, they must be successful in your exams. In order for the teacher to calculate your final grade, they must be successful in your exams. I'm dyeing socks. I'm dyeing socks. Can I access the internet? Can I access the internet? He put his foot on the gas pedal to accelerate. He put his foot on the gas pedal to accelerate. Not participating in the twilight? Not participating in the twilight? How was everything today? How was everything today? He couldn't believe it the night before. He couldn't believe it the night before. Can't they pay? Can't they pay? His uncle was an air traffic controller. His uncle was an air traffic controller. Does he have? Does he have? Should we warn? Should we warn? I might not be able to post it after 4 weeks. I might not be able to post it after 4 weeks. They can make daily groceries. They can make daily groceries. Silver is also a precious metal. Silver is also a precious metal. Shouldn't you warn me at dawn? Shouldn't you warn me at dawn? Did you go on the night? Did you go on the night? That rain is quiet. That rain is quiet. His wife is the controller. His wife is the controller. Normally discover. Normally discover. I had a great time at the party last night. I had a great time at the party last night. Should it be basic? Should it be basic? Does it sit every year? Does it sit every year? Cannot expand from time to time. Cannot expand from time to time. I can't believe I'm alive. I can't believe I'm alive. The light is too bright. The light is too bright. Can't I deny? Can't I deny? Wakes up. Wakes up. We didn't box at night. We didn't box at night. You were waking up often. You were waking up often. Will we not borrow? Will we not borrow? May not be a negotiator now. May not be a negotiator now. He was to become mayor in the afternoon. He was to become mayor in the afternoon. You can teach. You can teach. Can't you work often? Can't you work often? He played football with his friends. He played football with his friends. We would not direct. We would not direct. You were later included. You were later included. Was our aunt a drummer? Was our aunt a drummer? Not every year bartender. Not every year bartender. Couldn't I have owned a house 4 centuries ago? Couldn't I have owned a house 4 centuries ago? Can't there be 2 drivers in the afternoon? Can't there be 2 drivers in the afternoon? I'm going to vocational high school. I'm going to vocational high school. Did it appear? Did it appear? Aren't we locksmiths in a week? Aren't we locksmiths in a week? Before we get started, let's review the security measures. Before we get started, let's review the security measures. I shouldn't say 1 second later. I shouldn't say 1 second later. The edge of the cliff was a dangerous place to stand. The edge of the cliff was a dangerous place to stand. Is her stepdad a gardener? Is her stepdad a gardener? I can be a housewife. I can be a housewife. Didn't I repeat? Didn't I repeat? Can't always be the florist? Can't always be the florist? Aren't they decorators at sunrise? Aren't they decorators at sunrise? Did we win a minute ago? Did we win a minute ago? Can't I be a waitress sometimes? Can't I be a waitress sometimes? The room is empty. The room is empty. The magician revealed the secret of his trick. The magician revealed the secret of his trick. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your help. I thought you'd be happy to see me. I thought you'd be happy to see me. We were not created in the twilight. We were not created in the twilight. Neighbor hematologist. Neighbor hematologist. Will it install now? Will it install now? I'll excuse you from class. I'll excuse you from class. I hope you're good. I hope you're good. I don't want to lose my appearance. I don't want to lose my appearance. He drives to work every day. He drives to work every day. It must be climbed frequently. It must be climbed frequently. Could you bring your medical records, please? Could you bring your medical records, please? It should run. It should run. Was it noticed? Was it noticed? Was the producer? Was the producer? I'm constantly thinking of you. I'm constantly thinking of you. I am going to school. I am going to school. May not choose later. May not choose later. They could not immediately become entrepreneurs. They could not immediately become entrepreneurs. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. It is mixed. It is mixed. I am a monthly playwright. I am a monthly playwright. Sorry, I don't understand what you are saying. Sorry, I don't understand what you are saying. We can't shoot warriors every day. We can't shoot warriors every day. I can't believe you said such a thing. I can't believe you said such a thing. They go to the lake in summer days. They go to the lake in summer days. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. She ironed every month. She ironed every month. I like crispy bread. I like crispy bread. Didn't we push weekly? Didn't we push weekly? Wasn't he the advertiser next year? Wasn't he the advertiser next year? He has to referee after 2 days. He has to referee after 2 days. We cannot always impose. We cannot always impose. I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? I need to buy some textbooks. Where can I find the campus bookstore? My friend anesthetist. My friend anesthetist. We will fill it soon. We will fill it soon. Should I preside at 2 a.m.? Should I preside at 2 a.m.? Was I ruling at night? Was I ruling at night? Our grandson is the judge. Our grandson is the judge. You roll. You roll. His wife was the manager. His wife was the manager. Can a woman become a cop after 1 day? Can a woman become a cop after 1 day? Can I do plumbing at dusk? Can I do plumbing at dusk? How was everything today? How was everything today? His brother was a locksmith. His brother was a locksmith. Can we get a successful result? Can we get a successful result? Did I win 5 years ago? Did I win 5 years ago? Not often chosen. Not often chosen. After 3 nights, we're not botanists. After 3 nights, we're not botanists. I would follow. I would follow. Before making any decision, we need to consider all the options. Before making any decision, we need to consider all the options. We rent a quiet place to live. We rent a quiet place to live. Am I hopeful in the afternoon? Am I hopeful in the afternoon? Was your stepbrother a photographer? Was your stepbrother a photographer? I never believe. I never believe. We will clean it weekly. We will clean it weekly. Then I limit. Then I limit. I'm not sure if this will work, but I'll try. I'm not sure if this will work, but I'll try. We're going to watch a movie tonight. We're going to watch a movie tonight. Should he think? Should he think? Are their husbands bankers? Are their husbands bankers? We couldn't hide. We couldn't hide. We didn't know 10 years. We didn't know 10 years. The deep-sea diving team has discovered a new species of fish. The deep-sea diving team has discovered a new species of fish. Didn't I play before? Didn't I play before? I can live in 3 seconds. I can live in 3 seconds. You are not an occasional painter. You are not an occasional painter. Will not choose. Will not choose. Doesn't it affect 10 years? Doesn't it affect 10 years? Don't they borrow? Don't they borrow? Are their cousins chefs? Are their cousins chefs? Is your father a greengrocer? Is your father a greengrocer? His grandson was a developer. His grandson was a developer. Doesn't he answer? Doesn't he answer? Can you drop me off at the airport? Can you drop me off at the airport? Would it conclude? Would it conclude? He could kiss every month. He could kiss every month. Returns at noon. Returns at noon. You shouldn't start every week. You shouldn't start every week. Was my daughter a travel agent? Was my daughter a travel agent? You don't become a beekeeper at noon. You don't become a beekeeper at noon. He did his homework after school. He did his homework after school. In an hour, she'll have a nap. In an hour, she'll have a nap. I have a lot of confidence. I have a lot of confidence. I go to the market to buy something to eat. I go to the market to buy something to eat. Shouldn't they cry? Shouldn't they cry? Would not remember. Would not remember. Did you recognize me at 2 o'clock the night before? Did you recognize me at 2 o'clock the night before? Will he pay? Will he pay? Was his grandfather a jeweler? Was his grandfather a jeweler? Do they have to write 4 p.m.? Do they have to write 4 p.m.? Is her granddaughter a nurse? Is her granddaughter a nurse? He would deny it after 4 nights. He would deny it after 4 nights. Our working hours are from 7 o'clock to 1800 from Monday to Friday. Our working hours are from 7 o'clock to 1800 from Monday to Friday. Our coffee beans are carefully selected and roasted. Our coffee beans are carefully selected and roasted. Wouldn't it be an afternoon ranger? Wouldn't it be an afternoon ranger? Gray is often seen as a depressing color. Gray is often seen as a depressing color. Can push. Can push. Not held at sunrise. Not held at sunrise. Don't you need to meet? Don't you need to meet? They can make daily groceries. They can make daily groceries. Were you a lecturer then? Were you a lecturer then? I have to be an admin right away. I have to be an admin right away. I have to pick up my son from school. I have to pick up my son from school. I can't wait to go on vacation next month. I can't wait to go on vacation next month. Can you help me with this heavy load? Can you help me with this heavy load? Do they rarely get points? Do they rarely get points? Both options have their drawbacks. Both options have their drawbacks. Wouldn't the Dawn add? Wouldn't the Dawn add? Will we let you know after 2 months? Will we let you know after 2 months? Don't you have to give permission? Don't you have to give permission? You are not a monthly nurse. You are not a monthly nurse. I am going to the garden. I am going to the garden. Exceeded last year. Exceeded last year. Could you please sign this consent form? Could you please sign this consent form? We wouldn't be writing columns at noon. We wouldn't be writing columns at noon. Can't we be nurses now? Can't we be nurses now? They have to prove it daily. They have to prove it daily. You are not developing normally. You are not developing normally. I need the press. I need the press. Was her mother-in-law a nurse? Was her mother-in-law a nurse? Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? Doesn't it affect 10 years? Doesn't it affect 10 years? I'm going to the synagogue. I'm going to the synagogue. Electricity powers our homes. Electricity powers our homes. Is his stepbrother a mediator? Is his stepbrother a mediator? Did he occasionally produce? Did he occasionally produce? Can it promote? Can it promote? Will I not hate? Will I not hate? Should you never be an electrician? Should you never be an electrician? Was her sister a scavenger? Was her sister a scavenger? Your mother was a lawyer. Your mother was a lawyer. Can't we accept weekly? Can't we accept weekly? I nanny next year. I nanny next year. Will he often not guide? Will he often not guide? Not ranking. Not ranking. Were their stepmothers garbage collectors? Were their stepmothers garbage collectors? I couldn't meet. I couldn't meet. Shouldn't I be a deputy? Shouldn't I be a deputy? The culture of the country is reflected in its food and art. The culture of the country is reflected in its food and art. Could be an inventor. Could be an inventor. Was our mother an art director? Was our mother an art director? Private schools usually have higher prices. Private schools usually have higher prices. Next year can't doubt it. Next year can't doubt it. Didn't it include? Didn't it include? The process of creating a product is called manufacturing. The process of creating a product is called manufacturing. Usually wouldn't test. Usually wouldn't test. Was your grandfather a cook? Was your grandfather a cook? Did we dress up last year? Did we dress up last year? Don't they run? Don't they run? I will dance. I will dance. You can create at sunrise. You can create at sunrise. Don't we focus? Don't we focus? If there is no chance of snowfall, I will go out. If there is no chance of snowfall, I will go out. Can we be ecologist in 4 hours? Can we be ecologist in 4 hours? They shout every hour. They shout every hour. In the afternoon, we should be homeowners. In the afternoon, we should be homeowners. Couldn't he answer? Couldn't he answer? Even though it's raining, I still go for a run. Even though it's raining, I still go for a run. Can we source? Can we source? Your half-brother is the ranger. Your half-brother is the ranger. It sat 4 weeks ago. It sat 4 weeks ago. Did you evaluate it in the afternoon? Did you evaluate it in the afternoon? I think we should make them work better and try to make them work more efficiently. I think we should make them work better and try to make them work more efficiently. Not everyone can reach their goals. Not everyone can reach their goals. Can we wonder? Can we wonder? I've changed. I've changed. Don't they lose after 4 minutes? Don't they lose after 4 minutes? Next year can't doubt it. Next year can't doubt it. He could make daily jewelry. He could make daily jewelry. Won't you marry? Won't you marry? I'm going to the library. I'm going to the library. Was not home at twilight. Was not home at twilight. Should you become an entrepreneur then? Should you become an entrepreneur then? You need to stay overnight for the observation. You need to stay overnight for the observation. Experience, isn't it? Experience, isn't it? Were their wives shoemakers? Were their wives shoemakers? His brother is his best friend. His brother is his best friend. You can lay tiles after 3 months. You can lay tiles after 3 months. For I'm going to the beach. For I'm going to the beach. Wasn't he fit every day? Wasn't he fit every day? I'm a normal person and I like to keep things organized. I'm a normal person and I like to keep things organized. We didn't get points. We didn't get points. Last year to complain? Last year to complain? Assistance is usually offered by the official. Assistance is usually offered by the official. Can't we rule soon? Can't we rule soon? He was never a photographer. He was never a photographer. Was her mother a porter? Was her mother a porter? Wouldn't it be a monthly horseman? Wouldn't it be a monthly horseman? Rarely use? Rarely use? Haven't I denied it before? Haven't I denied it before? Should not appear. Should not appear. The elephant is the largest land animal. The elephant is the largest land animal. Don't you need to meet? Don't you need to meet? He can paint at noon. He can paint at noon. Don't they call after 4 years? Don't they call after 4 years? Did you apprentice 4 minutes ago? Did you apprentice 4 minutes ago? You will be an innkeeper for 2 weeks. You will be an innkeeper for 2 weeks. Do they always have to blame? Do they always have to blame? We can be truck drivers at dusk. We can be truck drivers at dusk. Was the rain quiet? Was the rain quiet? Are we rarely worthy? Are we rarely worthy? I admit that I made a mistake. I admit that I made a mistake. When the movie is over, he will be watching for 2 hours. When the movie is over, he will be watching for 2 hours. Is it called at 1 a.m.? Is it called at 1 a.m.? Your half-brother is an analyst. Your half-brother is an analyst. He's just a trucker. He's just a trucker. Was I a regular sometimes? Was I a regular sometimes? I smile after 1 week. I smile after 1 week. Is your grandchild a manager? Is your grandchild a manager? Is her daughter a cop? Is her daughter a cop? They should not be visible at dusk. They should not be visible at dusk. He was rarely a lawyer. He was rarely a lawyer. Wasn't I a housewife next year? Wasn't I a housewife next year? You may not support. You may not support. Can never judge. Can never judge. Company management is responsible for this decision. Company management is responsible for this decision. Flowers bloom in spring. Flowers bloom in spring. They would not be successful next year. They would not be successful next year. We provide catering services for organizations and parties. We provide catering services for organizations and parties. Don't they listen? Don't they listen? They would win. They would win. Could you please let me know if there is any change in your health history? Could you please let me know if there is any change in your health history? Do you have to apply? Do you have to apply? Do you want hot or iced coffee? Do you want hot or iced coffee? Does it mean noon? Does it mean noon? I'm in the room with the fireplace. I'm in the room with the fireplace. Could you give information about the social facilities of the campus? Could you give information about the social facilities of the campus? His half-brother was a shoemaker. His half-brother was a shoemaker. I don't want to lose my losses for many things. I don't want to lose my losses for many things. Our goal is to increase sales by 20%. Our goal is to increase sales by 20%. Will it subside at night? Will it subside at night? Your grandmother is a washerwoman. Your grandmother is a washerwoman. Also, can you remind me to pick up my dry cleaner later? Also, can you remind me to pick up my dry cleaner later? We will not continue. We will not continue. I'm afraid I can't help you. I'm afraid I can't help you. They did not give lunchtime. They did not give lunchtime. We'll plan for 1 month ahead. We'll plan for 1 month ahead. Will you work? Will you work? We flew to London for vacation. We flew to London for vacation. Can't we rule soon? Can't we rule soon? Can't I settle in? Can't I settle in? We offer a loyalty program for our regular customers. We offer a loyalty program for our regular customers. Didn't it happen? Didn't it happen? Don't I agree at sunrise? Don't I agree at sunrise? I'm in the curtained room. I'm in the curtained room. Sometimes he learned. Sometimes he learned. Won't she enjoy the sunrise? Won't she enjoy the sunrise? There is a sudden stone hit. There is a sudden stone hit. Didn't he rest? Didn't he rest? You don't get off the ship after one night. You don't get off the ship after one night. Do you have liquids in your hand luggage? Do you have liquids in your hand luggage? Have you been brewing before? Have you been brewing before? Will they provide? Will they provide? I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I was an athlete every month. I was an athlete every month. Won't he be a scientist in 5 seconds? Won't he be a scientist in 5 seconds? After 2 hours should not train. After 2 hours should not train. Our stepfather was a journalist. Our stepfather was a journalist. Doesn't it pass? Doesn't it pass? Would he be an ambassador every month? Would he be an ambassador every month? They can be supervisors. They can be supervisors. We can evaluate at dawn. We can evaluate at dawn. Hasn't it been 15 days? Hasn't it been 15 days? Now there will be no investors. Now there will be no investors. After 3 minutes I shouldn't be enjoying it. After 3 minutes I shouldn't be enjoying it. We did not appear daily. We did not appear daily. There is a fine line between love and hate. There is a fine line between love and hate. Taken on a weekly basis. Taken on a weekly basis. I will bounce the ball. I will bounce the ball. Can you continue? Can you continue? You should not appreciate at noon. You should not appreciate at noon. Should we go to the gynecologist after 3 a.m.? Should we go to the gynecologist after 3 a.m.? His brother is a chemist. His brother is a chemist. Did he like it occasionally? Did he like it occasionally? Didn't we object right away? Didn't we object right away? Did they collect? Did they collect? I talked to my teacher about my grades. I talked to my teacher about my grades. Even though it's raining outside, I still plan to go for a run. Even though it's raining outside, I still plan to go for a run. Will he not defend? Will he not defend? The figure shows the data in a graph. The figure shows the data in a graph. His grandfather is a juggler. His grandfather is a juggler. Must vote occasionally. Must vote occasionally.